With more on this is Vice President of the Media Research Center, Dan Gaynor. Dan, good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you as well, especially on such an important day for congressionally.
Oh, my, you aren't kidding. Well, do you expect anything to come out of these hearings besides talk? Would we actually see government action taken against these social media companies?
Well, I think we're definitely heading that route. There's both left and right want to take some action. They don't agree on what, but they do agree that something must be done. They're concerned about privacy. They're concerned about the size of the companies. But the left is certainly not concerned that conservatives are being censored or restricted in any way.
Should the issues of social media censorship, for instance, Lila Rose, I mean, I can't believe the censorship they've undergone against conservatives, and whether these companies are economic monopolies, should that be linked?
Well, it's raised a big question. Can people compete? Can a company like Gab, which tries to be a free speech operation, or Parler, or any of these other new startups, really compete against companies that are the largest and most powerful companies in human history?
Well, all of these companies continue to be even more brazen in their censorship of conservatives. Do you think that they think that they're untouchable?
Well, I think it's escalated because there's really, at its core, maybe not always at the executive level, but a lot of the employees, they are trying to undo what happened in 2016. Donald Trump and before him, Barack Obama, won on the backs of social media. And Donald Trump is the powerful social media force, and the left, particularly in these Silicon Valley companies, is trying to prevent him from doing in 2020 what he did in 2016.
Dan, what do you make of Peter Thiel's allegations that Google senior management has been, quote, thoroughly infiltrated by Chinese intelligence?
Well, I mean, it's scary how much these companies will work with nations that are our foes and not work with us. But this is very much the sort of the globalist vision. We're going to hire employees from around the world, many of whom are not necessarily loyal to the United States. And, that's always been seen as a good in tech. But once you have these tech companies starting to work with defense departments, and in China, Google will say, well, we don't work with the Chinese Defense Department. But if you work with one branch of Chinese government or a lot of their businesses, you're really working with the Chinese Defense Department. And that's just the truth.
Well, if we indeed have social media monopolies, any suggestions for what the government should do?
Well, I mean, one of the first things for government to do is to look into how much these companies are involved in our elections. That's the FEC. That's something that can already be done without congressional approval. All these top tech companies got involved in the 2018 election trying to get the vote out. Did they do so fairly? That's a big question, especially in the case of Google, where some Google employees were trying to promote getting Hispanic vote out in key states to boost Hillary Clinton in 2016. That's something we need to know going into the 2020 election.
Well, Dan, we'll have to leave it there for now, but we look forward to you coming back on the show soon. Thanks so much for your insights.
So do I. Thank you.